What if the strongest version of you doesn't arrive with noise? What if transformation isn't meant to be broadcast, isn't meant to be applauded, isn't meant to be put on display until it's complete? Think about it. We live in a world addicted to noise. People rush to share every step, every thought, every half-finished move as if progress only matters when it's seen. But real progress, true transformation, has never been loud. It's quiet. It's practiced. It's hidden in the shadows where nobody claps, nobody comments, nobody validates. Greatness doesn't clap for itself. It doesn't announce every rehearsal, every repetition, every setback. It just builds, quietly, relentlessly, with focus so deep it forgets to prove anything to anyone. And that's where the real difference is made, behind closed doors, when no one's watching. When was the last time you worked on yourself so intensely that you forgot to share it with the world? When was the last time you trained, studied, built, improved, not for attention, not for approval, but because you refused to let yourself remain the same? That's the test. Not whether the world notices, but whether you keep going when no one does. We've been taught that sharing equals progress, that announcing a goal somehow brings it closer. Tell people and they'll hold you accountable, they say. But here's the danger. Most people talk themselves out of growth before it even takes root. They expose a seed too early, show the blueprint before the foundation is laid, and suddenly doubt, distraction, and outside noise creep in. And just like that, the dream is weaker before it ever had a chance to grow strong. But not you. Not anymore. This is your permission to go quiet, to go deep, to retreat from the noise, not to hide, but to prepare. Because silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's a shield against distraction. It's strength that doesn't need to prove itself. It's the calm before the storm, the preparation before the breakthrough. Understand this. The man who builds in silence is dangerous. Nobody sees him coming. While the crowd is distracted, shouting about their goals, his making his, while others are proving, his becoming. And when he finally emerges, it's not with potential, it's with power. So if you've ever felt invisible, misunderstood, overlooked, good, that means your energy hasn't been wasted on noise. That means your power is still intact, stored, ready to be released at the right time. Roots grow in silence, not in the spotlight. And when they've grown deep enough, the world won't be able to ignore what you've built. This is your reminder. Stop announcing. Start aligning. Stop explaining. Start executing. Stop chasing validation. Start mastering yourself. Because here's the truth. One of the biggest traps on the path to greatness is announcing too early. You set a goal. You feel excitement. And your first instinct, to tell someone, to post it, to declare it. I'm starting a business. I'm changing my life. I'm working on something big. And for a moment, you feel proud. You feel seen. But then the momentum fades. The fire weakens. The motivation dies. Why? Because you got your reward too soon. You got the dopamine without the discipline, the applause without the effort. And suddenly the grind feels heavier than before. That's the trap of premature validation. You traded progress for perception, glory for grind, discipline for dopamine. When you build quietly, you strip away that comfort. You deny yourself the shortcut. And that's the point. You don't want comfort. You want progress. You want hunger to stay alive. You want the grind to shape you into someone unrecognizable. That doesn't happen in applause. It happens in silence. And that's where your story begins. The second trap on the path to greatness is external pressure. The moment you announce your plans to the world, you don't just get encouragement. You get scrutiny. You get expectations. And now your focus shifts. You're no longer building for yourself. You're building for them. You're performing. You're adjusting your path to please people who were never meant to walk this journey with you. And that is where dreams get diluted. That is where visions lose their purity. Because now, instead of being obsessed with progress, you're obsessed with perception. Instead of asking, am I moving forward? You start asking, do they believe I'm moving forward? And the moment you start living through their eyes, you've already lost yourself. Think about it. How many times have you slowed down to explain yourself to people who were never going to understand anyway? How many times have you altered your moves because you were worried about how it looked, not about how it worked. That energy could have been spent on building, on becoming, on execution. Instead, it was wasted on optics. And optics never built anything real. Here's the truth. You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself results. That's it. When you build quietly, you're free. Free from judgment. Free from doubt. Free from the noise of other people's opinions. You move one brick at a time with no audience watching and no pressure to perform. And that freedom, it's priceless. It allows you to evolve without interference, to grow without critique, to fail and adjust without an audience dissecting your every move. Privacy is not weakness. Privacy is wisdom. It's protection. It's a shield around your vision until it's strong enough to stand on its own. Because when your goals are still fragile, the last thing they need is a weight of other people's expectations. They need room. They need time. They need silence. Ask yourself, how much energy have you wasted trying to look successful instead of actually becoming successful? How many times have you chosen the appearance of progress over the grind of progress? That's what most people do. They want the illusion of greatness, not the substance of it. But not you. Not anymore. Because you're starting to see it now. The power of silence. Silence gives you control. It gives you clarity. It allows you to pivot, to shift directions, to evolve without needing permission. When no one knows your every move, no one can interfere with your rhythm. And rhythm is everything. Rhythm is focus. Rhythm is momentum. Rhythm is progress stacking day after day, brick after brick. This doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It doesn't mean you move in secrecy out of fear. It means you move with intention. You share with purpose. You protect what matters until it's unshakable. Because the greatest builders, the greatest leaders, the greatest creators, they don't move loud. They move clear. They don't show the rehearsal. They show the result. The process isn't meant to be public. The process is sacred. That's where the transformation takes place. In the hours no one sees, in the choices no one celebrates, in the discipline no one claps for. That's where champions are made. That's where the old self dies and the new self is born. So stop apologizing for your silence. Stop feeling guilty for your focus. Stop believing you are the world updates on your every step. You don't. You owe yourself consistency. You owe yourself growth. You owe yourself the chance to build without interruption. Privacy is your superpower. Silence is your shield. And the results? The results will be your voice. Because when you finally step out, when you finally reveal what you've built, you won't need to explain a thing. The work will speak louder than your words ever could. And that's the kind of voice no one can ignore. There's a reason most people never finish what they start. It isn't because they lack talent. It isn't because they don't have ideas. It's because they don't have patience. They plant the seed today, and tomorrow they're already digging it up, checking if it's grown. They water it once and wonder why the tree hasn't bloomed. They demand results without respecting the process. But greatness does not rush. Mastery does not hurry. Everything legendary is built on patience. Look around you. The tallest mountains weren't formed overnight. The strongest rivers carved their paths over centuries. The most enduring structures were built stone by stone, layer by layer. Why would your vision be any different? Why would your empire not require the same discipline, the same time, the same relentless consistency? Impatience kills dreams faster than failure ever could. Because failure teaches. Failure sharpens. Failure rebuilds. But impatience? Impatience makes you quit before the lesson, before the growth, before the breakthrough. And that's why patience is your greatest ally. Because patience isn't waiting. Patience is working without needing instant applause. Patience is grinding without demanding instant proof. Patience is trusting the process when the results are still invisible. Ask yourself, can you keep building even when no one claps? Can you keep showing up even when the world doubts you? Can you trust your vision enough to water it every single day, knowing the harvest will come, even if it takes years? That's the test. That's the difference between those who start and those who finish. Patience gives you resilience. It allows you to endure the quiet seasons, the invisible seasons, the seasons when nothing seems to move. It teaches you that the absence of visible growth does not mean the absence of progress. Because sometimes the roots are growing deeper before the branches can rise higher. Sometimes the foundation is being strengthened before the walls can stand tall. That's what your life requires. A deep foundation, a strong root system, a patience that refuses to be shaken by time. But here's the beauty. When patience combines with silence and discipline, something unstoppable is born, because you're no longer rushing. You're no longer distracted. You're no longer feeding your energy into appearances or approval. You're simply building, brick by brick, step by step, day after day. And one day, without warning, the breakthrough arrives. The results show. The work you did in silence rolls into the world. And suddenly, people call it luck. Suddenly, they call it talent. Suddenly, they act like it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll know the years, the discipline, the sacrifices, the patience that no one saw. That's the irony of success. It always looks sudden to those who weren't watching. But for you, it won't be sudden. It will be the most patient, deliberate, intentional thing you've ever done. So hold the line. Protect your vision. Respect the silence. Honor the patience. Don't let time discourage you. Let it refine you. Don't let the quiet seasons break you. Let them build you. Because every day you stay the course, you're closer. Every day you water the seed, you're building roots. Every day you move, no matter how small, you're becoming. The world won't understand your silence. They won't recognize your patience. But they will respect your results. Because results are undeniable. Results are louder than opinions. Results are the proof no critic can argue with. So let this be your vow. No more rushing. No more explaining. No more breaking under pressure. From this moment forward, you move with silence, with discipline, with patience. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when the foundation is unshakable, then you will step forward. Not with words, not with noise, but with results so undeniable that the world will have no choice but to listen. Because in the end, your silence, your patience, your persistence will be the loudest roar of